Today, guys, I want to do something a little bit different. As you know, for the last few years, I think I did it 3 out of the last 4 years, something like that. I did kind of like a Christmas calendar countdown, showing you my favourite players in FIFA 19. I didn't do that this year because I couldn't actually decide my top 25 players. It felt like I hadn't played enough of the game. Pretty much by that point, all I'd played with is Arsenal and now Girona, which, of course, Girona I've made a squad of randomly generated players. It felt like this year it wasn't right to do my top 25 players. So what I'm going to do today is, now that I've played quite a lot of career modes off camera, and I plan to do quite a few more off camera, but when I say off camera, I mean off YouTube. I'm probably going to do some on Twitch. I think I fancy doing some random career modes. I have like a really good idea that I might bring to YouTube if it works well streaming. So keep a lookout for that. If you could follow me on Twitter, I'll let you know when I'm streaming. Simple as that. So the link below to follow me on Twitter, it's right there. I'd really appreciate it. But I'm going to put together my favourite team of players, my favourite squad, if you will. A 4-4-2 formation, and I'm going to have 2 players for each position. And I'm just going to tell you who I think are my favourite players in the game. And maybe there's some players that you haven't tried that you want to try out. So let me put the controller down a sec. Before I get into it, I should probably tell you the career modes I've done. So, of course, Arsenal and Girona are the main ones that I've been doing. But Girona, I want you guys to completely ignore that, because the only player that I somewhat enjoyed using for 1 or 2 games was Porto. I don't know if you guys remember, but he was top goal scorer for us in the first season, and I believe in the second season he was up there as well. But I've done a career mode with Everton in my own time. I did 2 seasons. I simulated a little bit, but played a lot of games as well. I did a Dortmund career mode for fun. I really enjoyed Dortmund. They've got an incredible squad, especially young players like Sancho, who, by the way, isn't in this list, but really enjoyed the Dortmund career mode. I think I did 5 seasons with them. Obviously, I didn't play every game, but just kind of in my own time, just playing on career mode, Dortmund was certainly up there as one of my favourites. I've done one with Leicester. I've done one with Monaco. And as of right now, off camera, I'm doing one with West Ham. Because I think I prefer the Premier League career modes. I think they're the most fun for me personally. But that doesn't mean that's what I'm going to be doing next. I think my next series is going to be in the Bundesliga. But we will find out. But now that you know the teams that I've played with, you'll get a good rough idea of which players I've been using the most. So we're going to start off with Arsenal here, just because they're obviously my favourite team. And we're going to empty the squad as much as we can. And I'm just going to fill it with all of my favourite players in the game. Now, you're probably thinking, why would you choose Arsenal? There's probably a few players in there that you want in your team. Well, I've decided, because I'm a little bit biased, I'm only going to have a maximum of 2 players from the Arsenal squad. Let me just double check if I've only got 2. Actually, I think I've only got 1. So there's only 1 Arsenal player, and I've already removed him from the team. That will be a little bit of a hint, but I don't think I can remove... Yeah, I can't remove anyone else. So let's start with goalkeeper. This one was really hard, and it's the only position out of the 4-4-2 where I'm only going to pick 1 player, because I just haven't done enough career mode. And also, goalkeepers are just goalkeepers. They're often rubbish, no matter how good their rating is. But there was one player that certainly stood out, and that was Pickford. So we're going to go ahead and put him in the team. Pickford was incredible in my Everton career mode. It's not just how many saves keepers make, but sometimes it's just the way they make the saves. And Pickford, there's something about him in this game. He's got his real face, which is always nice, compared to Leno, for example, who might have been in second place. But Pickford is really acrobatic. I'm pretty sure that's his style. No, it's traditional. Interesting, because he was flinging himself trying to save really difficult shots on goal. And I thought Pickford was the best goalkeeper I've used so far in FIFA 19. Now, moving on to right back. Remember, we're doing a 4-4-2, so we get every position you can think of. The first player I'm going to go with is... That's not what I wanted to do. Have I spelt his name wrong? I think I might have, guys. It might be just 1R. Oh dear. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So, Leicester City's Pereira. Now, the reason I liked him so much was because he was good at everything. He's really good at defending and he's really good going forward. I actually feel like he's kind of my own Dani Alves in that Leicester career mode. He was so good. Really could not recommend him enough. The other player is going to be probably a quite popular choice, but Munier. I signed him in my Dortmund career mode when Piszczek retired, and he was incredible. Really like Munier, so he goes in as well as the second choice. Now, 4 defenders coming up. The first one, again, probably a very popular choice, but it's going to be Delict. I don't know how to say his name. Looks like he's going to be ending up at Barcelona next year with his brother in the side, Frankie de Jong. They're not actually brothers, obviously, but it's just interesting how they're going to go together. They both look incredible. De Jong didn't make it into my team, but this guy does. He, for me, is the best young defender in this game, full stop. And partnering him as my first choice is going to be probably a player that you guys haven't really used too much. Lenglet. Now, the thing with this guy is he's at Barcelona where you've got Umtiti, who most undoubtedly goes in ahead of him, right? You've got PK there as well. It's difficult to put Lenglet in. He has to play on that left side, if you ask me, because he's left-footed. Trust me, if you do a Barcelona career mode, put this guy in the team. His passing is outrageous. I don't understand how or why. If you look at his stats, I mean, his short pass is 78. That's very impressive. But it was his long passing. He was putting balls over the top behind the defence, and I was scoring directly from passes from Lenglet in defence. He was that good for me. So it would be him and Delict. They go into my first team, and I'm sorry if I'm saying names wrong. The backup to Lenglet would be this guy here. You guys knew this was coming. Kimpembe. He doesn't count as an Arsenal player, but I did sign him in the Arsenal career mode. I really don't need to say anything about Kimpembe. He is unreal in this game, but not as good as Lenglet, I found. I don't know what it was about Lenglet. The other player I'm going to go with is another Dutch player, and that is Van Dijk. I think he's better as the left-sided centre-back at Liverpool, but when I signed him, it was... What career mode did I sign him in? I've actually forgotten. I don't think I remember when I signed him or which team it was, but I played him as a right centre-back, and he was unreal. Really, really good. So... just because Liverpool play him at the left side doesn't mean you couldn't play... Well, it doesn't matter what position you play your players in. It's just a personal preference, isn't it? So that's the 4 centre-backs. At left-back, this was a really tough one. I'm actually questioning it right now. I've written them all down below me on this list. Really, really tough. I'm actually going to go with 2 players from the same squad. And that first player is going to be... Do you know what? I'm actually going to change this. Because I don't actually think it should be this player. Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to... Yeah, I'm going to go with him as the first one. Don't want to spell his name wrong, but Hakimi. I know he's more of a right back, and let me just go ahead and put him in because I actually didn't have him in and I just remembered about him now. Hakimi is a right back in the game, but Dortmund seem to use him as a left back. I tried it, and he was amazing. I had him at left back, and I had Munier at right back, and they changed my mind on defenders. They do not need to be right-footed on the right, left-footed on the left. They don't have to be at all. If anything, Hakimi was bombing down the left side, cutting inside and crossing it with his right foot, pinging it back post, and I was scoring so many goals like that. So I can't believe I forgot about him. The other one is going to be Guerrero, if I can find... There he is. Now, he's a left mid by default, but of course can play left back and used to play left back before he joined Dortmund, and still does every now and again, but I think they use him more as a midfielder these days. But whenever I put Hakimi at right back, every now and again, I'd put Guerrero at left back. He was equally good. So he is my second player on the left side there. So that's defence and goalkeeping done. Now we get on to the really tough players because this is where I really struggled. The first player, as my right-sided player, we're going with Bernardeschi. I love this guy, man. Now, I signed him in my Everton career mode. You're probably thinking, what? Why? You've got Theo Walcott, arguably the best player of all time. That's exactly why I sold Walcott. Literally straight away, I thought, Walcott has to go. Okay, he's useless. And I brought this guy in. Bernardeschi is, for me, top 3 in the game. He is absolutely ridiculous in this game. It's the dribbling. It's the fact that he's pretty physical. He's 6'1". He's got 5-star skills, which obviously for someone like me who doesn't rely on skills and doesn't do them very often, it's just a nice little added bonus. The fact that you can do the scoops while running, that you can do a much better range of skills. But I'm just seeing his strength there. It doesn't feel like 63. He doesn't get muscled off the ball. And he scored me so many goals. Honestly, I cannot rate Bernardeschi higher. And his potential, I believe, is 87. So he grows into an even better player. Now, the next player, the other player that's going to go as his backup, would be Bernardo Silva, who is a cam at the moment. And arguably, I would say, could be his best position, especially if David Silva ends up moving on at some point soon in real life. I think he's the perfect replacement. Not only is his name the same, but he plays a very similar game. But I really like him on the right wing. There's something about Bernardo Silva, especially his crosses, his dribbling. I think for me, he goes down as one of my favourite players in the game as well, but not quite as good as Bernardeschi. There was something about Bernardeschi. I don't know what it was. So those are my two right-sided players. Let's go over to the left side. New signing for West Ham. I'm going to go with Felipe Anderson. Now, I wasn't so sure when I started looking at my left-sided players to put in this video. I found this one probably the most difficult because I don't actually think there are that many that scream out to me, you know, like Bernardeschi did. As soon as I remembered the Everton career mode, bang, Bernardeschi. There isn't a left-sided player that really popped out to me, but Felipe Anderson, when I did a West Ham career mode, or I'm still playing it as of right now, I passed the ball to Anderson and I have so much fun. He's brilliant at cutting in on that right foot and he's so quick. He may not be the fastest in the game. I mean, 89 sprint speed, it's not exactly slow, is it? But he feels really, really quick and I love the guy. I actually really think he's a quality signing for West Ham and he's made FIFA even better for West Ham. And by the way, quick what am I trying to say here? Quick little fact, I guess. My favourite stadium in the game is West Ham Stadium, the London Stadium, and he makes it just even more fun, the fact that he's at West Ham. So he's going to go in. The other player is also a Premier League player, and we're going to go with Wilfried Zaha, centre forward as his default position. I think he's best on the left. I think you get the most out of him when you play him just as an out-and-out winger, getting those crosses in, running at people, 5-star skiller. I can't rate him enough either. Really, really like him. He's not cheap in career mode, but if you can sign him, he's a very, very good winger to have in a mid to high team, I would say. If you're looking to win the league, win the Champions League, he's not really that kind of player. He could be a backup, no doubt. But for like an Everton, which is the team that I signed him to, him on the left, Bernardeschi on the right, I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's the most fun I've had on a career mode in terms of wingers. He's not as good as Anderson, but I really liked Zaha, so he definitely goes into the team. Now for the 4 centre mids, they can be a CDM, centre attacking mid, centre mid, whatever. This was tough. The only Arsenal player that gets into the team, it is going to be Torreira, who I've already removed. Again, I don't need to speak too much about Torreira, but I enjoyed the fact that he was an Arsenal player. It means so much to me that Arsenal did go for a young player that's just passionate about tackling. We haven't had that for so long. So Torreira goes in this team. My favourite midfielder, I think, by quite some distance, especially in his position. To back him up, I'm going to go with one of my favourite midfielders in the Dortmund career mode, and that is going to be Witsel, who recently had an upgrade to 85. He's at the very top of his game. I've got history with Witsel. If you remember back to my Arsenal career mode, I think it was FIFA 13. He was unbelievable then, and he's arguably even better now. I think he has single-handedly changed Dortmund in real life this season. He's an absolute rock, and I'm surprised he's not going in as a first-team player in this 4-4-2, because the other player that's going to partner Torreira, I'm cheating a little bit here, it's going to be Aouar. He also played in my Arsenal career mode, and almost every single time when he did play was next to Torreira, and they were a brilliant partnership. The only thing I would say is they're both quite small and not exactly strong. But Aouar goes down as my surprise player. I couldn't believe how much fun I had with him. His finesse shots, his passing, just a joy to use. And the other player is going to be Arthur for Barcelona. So I signed him... When did I sign him? I'm having trouble memorising lots of things. I think I might have done a Barcelona career mode at some point, maybe when the game first came out. Because I remember Arthur was a new signing and I wanted to throw him in. I put him in ahead of Busquets in that CDM role. That's when I signed Van Dijk. I replaced PK with Van Dijk. That's what I did. I remember. Arthur was so good, and every time I come up against him, especially in the Girona career mode, he's unreal. So he had to go in there. Now, 4 more players. Looking at my list, this is very tough. I think I have to. The first player that goes in has to be Mbappe. Don't play him at right wing. Put him up front. Just do yourself a favour. Put him up front. He will bang in goals for you. Again, signed him in the Arsenal career mode. And of course, that's the longest career mode I've done playing games-wise. And Mbappe, I don't need to say anything about him, really. Partnering him, people are going to laugh at me. It's going to be Rashford. I think Rashford is such a wasted talent, or was, under Mourinho, playing out on that left wing. Are you mad? Are you actually brain dead? Rashford, I think, is the future of England. I know Harry Kane is still quite young, but for me, Marcus Rashford can be better than Harry Kane. In my opinion, he's more mobile, he's stronger on the ball, I think. Well, maybe because he's quicker, not necessarily actually stronger. But this kid is going places. He's now got 5-star skills in the game as well. I signed him for Barcelona. I thought Suarez, he was 31 or 32 in my career mode. Who do I bring in? And I thought straight away, Marcus Rashford. I'm going to give him a go. And him, along with, I think I had Coutinho on the left. Messi I kept for as long as I could on the right side. But most of the time I put him at cam. But they were all just, it was disgusting. So Rashford gets in. Those would be my 2 starters, Mbappe and Rashford. That is horrifying to think of. The backups are going to be another Arsenal signing that I made. It's going to be Williams. I replaced Aubameyang with Williams, and I remember very much saying a lot that he was miles better just because he didn't feel so clunky. There was something about Aubameyang's, I think it might have been his agility. I don't really know, but Williams just became very quickly one of my favourite players in that career mode. The other backup and the last player going into this list is going to be Richarlison, doing an Everton career mode. He was my main striker for a little while. Ended up putting him on the left side every now and again, but then changing him with Zaha. And just having Richarlison in the team was really good because he's good in any position up front. I even played him at cam. I played him on the right. He's got 5-star weak foot. He's quick. He's got the high work rates, which is underrated, I think. Sometimes it was really good having him come back and help me out. But really enjoyed using him, so he goes into the team. Let's go ahead and put this team together, and I will show you just how good it is. Damn, man, it really does look good. I'm actually tempted to play a career mode with it just to see what it's like. I mean, technically I should really enjoy it, right? But actually I think with all the players combined, it wouldn't actually be as good as I think it would be. It's nice having 1 or 2 players in your squad that you just love, and then the rest you kind of actively replace over time. You know what I'm saying? So this is the first team, and now if I put together the second team, arguably you could say it's high rated and therefore better, but these are players that I liked to use. I'm not saying it's the best squad overall to actually go into games with, but Pickford would obviously stay because I haven't picked another goalkeeper. At right back, it would be Munier, it would then be Van Dijk, and it would be Kimpembe, and then it would be Guerrero, and then on the left, it would be Zaha, then it would be Witsel and Arthur, and I'd probably switch those guys around. It would then be, where are you, Mr. Silva? Am I blind? Silva, there he is. I was blind. And then it would be Williams and Richarlison. Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe a few higher rated players in there, and I would say maybe a stronger defence, but I think I prefer the other team. Although this one I think would be better in terms of actually winning games. You've got players that really complement each other. I think Witsel and Arthur is a much better duo than Torreira and Aouar. I mean, if I was to actually go with a career mode with this team, I'd probably put Witsel there and have Torreira there. and I would definitely put Bernardeschi in, and I would definitely put Mbappe and Rashford back in. Let's build the team that I would actually play games with. I'd probably go with Pereira. I'd go with Van Dijk and Lenglet, and I'd probably go with Anderson over Zaha, just because I preferred using him, but also I think he is a better player in this game. I think that's the team I would go with. I'd probably go with Guerrero in the career mode itself, because Hakimi, although I like the guy, Guerrero's higher rated. You do get more assists with Guerrero, I would say. I just really enjoyed using Hakimi, maybe just a little bit more. So I think that would be my ultimate team. But in terms of having fun, my ultimate team was the first one. So I'm just going to put that back together and have another look, because, yeah, I did like it. So De Ligt goes in there. Hakimi goes in there. Anderson there. Wait, did I put Zaha in the first team? I hope I didn't. I didn't mean to anyway. That's it. That's the team I would pick. Genuinely, that is my favourite team in FIFA 19, and I think it would do so well. Thank you for watching. It's been fun. This was much more fun and, well, certainly easier than doing 25 days, one player each day. That was a lot of work. Surprisingly, even though they were short videos, having to do that every single day for 25 days whilst doing other videos, it was quite a lot. But hopefully you've discovered some new players that you know are in the game but you haven't really used and that you're going to. Maybe, if you want, match what I've done, play a career mode and tweet me your results. Tell me if you can win the league with this team. If you don't win the league with this team, I'd be very surprised. Really surprised. I think you could probably simulate and get top 4. So thank you for watching, guys. Once again, if you're enjoying my content at the moment, please do leave a like and make sure you're subscribed. You can also pick up my latest merch. New merch is now available. It's right underneath the video. It's from Teespring. Really good quality. It's got my logo on it. I'm planning on doing some cool, different, unique designs over the next few months, and they will come out for like a week at a time. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Follow me on Twitter for when I start streaming again. I'm planning on doing that soon. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.